Good morning. Alright, let's jump into it. I'll let you guys know kind of what I did yesterday with some things I didn't record. I was pulling the distributor out yesterday to prime the oil pump, or with the intention of priming the oil pump, and it wouldn't come out. So typically when you get it past the O-ring, they'll come out. Well, I got it past that point and it still wouldn't come out. So I double, tripled, quadruple checked everything to make sure I wasn't getting ready to cause more damage. I ended up having to crawl underneath the vehicle and use a hammer and punch to beat the distributor out of the block because there was so much gunk and just grime from many years of building up. So anyways, that's out. I've got some other parts to put on. So one of them being electronic ignition because points suck. I've got a Pertronix flamethrower coil up to 40,000 volts. A lot hotter than the stock one. But that's not where it gets good. Where it gets good is the Pertronix electronic ignition kit. This is almost as good as going fuel injection in my opinion. So there's that. I've got an installation kit for an electric fan. When I bought the van, it came with a new radiator, and of course that radiator doesn't have the same mounting tabs as the stock radiator. So what I have to do is custom mount it. I'm sure a lot of you guys out there know that. So if I'm going to go through and have to make all those mounts, then I said, why not put an electric fan on it? It's just better. It's easy power gains, and it's going to make the water pump last a lot longer. So there's that. And then I've got my fancy special tool for priming the oil pump. And we'll get that done, clean up the distributor, put the pickup coil in the distributor, maybe at some point work on the fan. We'll see I don't know what's going to be in this video. I've got a lot of stuff going on. I've got more parts coming in for the clutch linkages to finish all of that up. So I know I'm all over the place, but there's a lot of things that have to be done. So we're making progress, and I hope you guys are enjoying watching these videos. I'm having a lot of fun documenting everything, and I've got some other ideas, some other projects coming up outside of the van that I'd like to record. So if you guys like this and you're watching it, let me know, subscribe, like, that kind of stuff. Please let me know if you're enjoying it, and let's go work on all the van. Oh boy, look at that. Electronic ignition, it's all in there. The vacuum advance plate was totally, well, I don't want to say totally seized, but it was very hard to turn, and there's two real small return springs in here, and wasn't doing that before. Before you had to sit there and really crank on it, and it's obviously not going to work. But that wouldn't have mattered anyways, because the diaphragm got a big old fat hole in it, or it's actually separated. It's become, what I'm trying to say is it's junk. It's broken. So we have a new one of those coming on, and it was the carbon buildup and oil gunk buildup on the drive gear had seized it onto the shaft. So using a torch and a hammer carefully, soft surface brass hammer, to get this off of the shaft. It has a little bit of a crack in it. You might be able to see that. Anyways. Got a new one of those coming, but managed to save most of the distributor, so that's a good thing, and it's a whole lot cleaner than it was. I'm sure you guys have seen the pictures. That was fun doing all that. So I'm gonna go see if we can tinker with the radiator for a little bit and maybe come up with some ideas for the mounts, and well, more parts are on order again. It's part of it. So let's go. talk a little bit about what kind of setup I'm going with before we jump over there and get underneath it and figure out where this thing is going to go and which way I want to do it. So there's a couple different ways we can do this. We can either set this up as a pusher or a puller. Obviously setting up as a puller fan, meaning we're going to pull air through the radiator, it's more efficient. However, that fan is a vast improvement over the stock setup, so I don't think it's going to be wrong either way. I'm going to do whatever's easiest. It might end up being a pusher fan. You know, worst case, I just rig it up and make it go the other way. So, but we're dealing with I think this is a 3-pass radiator. It's quite a bit thicker than the stock one. It's got some weird flange mounts on it. It's kind of generic, but it'll certainly work. So, gonna do that. We'll put the fan on here. I may consider making a shroud for it. I'm not sure. That'd be more of an aesthetic and fabrication thing than anything else. So what we have to do is we gotta wire up a relay that can actually carry the current. I think it's got like a 30 amp startup and like a 20 amp run, something like that. So you don't want to run the ground switch, the temperature switch. Run the ground through that, you start burning stuff up, and that's how fans fail. So we're gonna do the right thing and put a pretty heavy duty relay in there. And this kit certainly came with plenty of wires to work with. So we got plenty of length and make that work. Comes with a breaker, and you can either do the mount where you can do the zip ties or tie straps through the radiator and put the little plugs in the end. Might end up doing that because you're not going to see the radiator in this thing. It's 4 feet behind the front of the van anyways. So there's that. That fan, you can flip the blade, you can change polarity, you can do whatever you need to make it work for you and your particular setup. So we'll probably end up fabricating an overflow bottle for the coolant. I don't want to let this just drip like it did, or it was designed to do rather. So maybe that'll be another cool aluminum TIG welding project. So another thing to the list. So all right, let's jump over there and take some footage and go to the next step. I've taken out the stock radiator mount. It runs down here and then bolts into those runs up on these holes right here. So with the new radiator, I've got some aluminum over here. I'll show you real quick. Here's the stock bracket, and it's a little bit narrow, so I'm going to use some angled aluminum, and we'll make that work. So right here is the flange I've got to mount to. It's actually the skinnier of the two on the radiator, and kind of wish I could go to the bigger ones, but I think the way I've got it planned out, it'll work that way. So we'll jump in there and take care of it. I did quite a bit of work without taking any video of it, just some head scratching. So all right, let me cut some pieces and drill some holes and go from there. got some aluminum brackets in there. I went ahead and took the stock bracket and made a template out of it and put some other pieces in there. I'm going to show you something on the radiator, which is kind of funny, but I think we can fix it. This is a narrow flange, this is a thick flange down here, and the best way this is going to work inside the van is actually if this bracket was flipped the other way, so the wider flange was on the back side of the radiator. So I think we're going to get the grinder out and we're going to have fun cutting these welds here out. A couple tack welds here. I think it's welded on the other side too. So we'll do that and then stick it in here. Those are the brackets I've got so far. They're kind of ghetto looking right now, but they'll get trimmed up and made a little bit nicer with proper hardware and all those good things. But right now I'm happy with how it's coming together, and you know, more aluminum means more heat sink, so alright, they're cut off. They're did a pretty decent job. They're not too badly up. So we'll I'm gonna clean those beads up, take care of them. I have a respirator on and that stinks. It's really gonna suck when I weld it. Not promising pretty beads on this one. You know, for those of you that do weld aluminum, you know that it has to be super clean. Or when you're grinding paint, you're just mixing it into the parent metal. So let me keep cleaning up and get this thing ready to go.
The pool, rocket girl singing in outer space. This is their old world today. Shooting stars discovered, then they fall like rain. Viewed in telescopes, they search to find thy name. There was a time you were just safely fast asleep. Interstellar slumber with their souls to keep.
Sweet. We got all the prep work done, and which is not particularly a great time, but it's up. I have the flange now offset by approximately half of an inch in accordance, well, half of an inch offset from the core. So it should work pretty good. Let me grab the welder. I'll be right back. Sweet. Let's see if it fits and does what I want it to do, and maybe temporarily clamp it in place, and I think we're gonna call it a night from there. So see you in a bit. It's the moment of truth. She's still just a wee bit on the warm side. That's nor here nor there. Big wheel come down. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's freaking awesome. So let me grab some clamps, temporarily put it in place. Clamp is only gonna reach there. That's cool. Yeah. Doesn't need to be perfect. I'm just trying to see what it looks like. I'm gonna go home and eat some dinner. Cool. Maybe not the straightest thing in the world, but I'm not freaking out about that at all. I'll grab my fan real quick, make sure that fits. BRB. Talked about earlier, there's not very much room in here, so I'm gonna have to do a pusher fan. That's okay. Oh, that's awesome. Cool. Let's see if I can get you guys to take a look here. Hang on, let me grab the light. Check it out. It's kind of weird holding the what I need to. So it's pretty close to everything, but there's good gap. And I think that's gonna work out just fine. All right, let me get out of here and close this up. That's gonna do it for today. I'm whooped, but got some really good progress. I've been thinking about doing that radiator adjustment and mounts for a while, so gonna call it a night. Thanks for hanging out with me today. I will check you guys on the next video. Probably keep working on the radiator. I didn't weld it all the way around just in case. I'm not gonna lie, I started welding it and did four long welds, and I realized I didn't test fit this because I was confident, which typically ends up in a bad mistake, but it worked. So I'm taking it. I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching. See ya.